Hi, this is Tom with World Class Coaching with another in our series of animated drills. This is really a simple activity that I basically just combined two sides of it in order to make it so that players are using both feet. There's some interchange between the sides. It just adds some variety to a normal triangle training drill. This is set up using the training triangles, and you can find those online. Training triangle. Just Google that and you'll find those. But it's a great tool to use instead of cones. If you're fortunate enough to have mannequins, then mannequins are a great, this would be great for mannequins because then the players can work on checking off of them. The reason I don't use cones is they just take up too little space. You want to take up as much space as a player takes up. And this is just a good kind of a tool for that. And we talk about the triangle being that player. So it also provides some angles to the activity where players can see where their passes go. And it's just a nice way to make the activity a little bit different. So it's all based on having a pass and then following your pass. And this same thing is done on both sides at the same time. So we're doing the exact same actions, just doing them on different sides. Over here, we'd use our left foot and then our left foot and then our left foot and then dribble. Now, occasionally from here, you'll see that a right foot makes a lot more sense as the activity gets going, and you'll see that in the rotation. And then we do the opposite over here. So we're playing with our right foot. We're opening up away from this triangle, receiving the ball on our back foot, and then passing and following the pass. Now, the way I have the players do this is, each player in line has a ball, as you can see. And so what we'll do is we'll have the players pass and follow their pass until they get to here. And obviously this player would open up to receive the ball. And you can get all of your normal coaching points done in this activity. So if you have advanced players, you can work on making two runs so that they're checking away and then checking back for the ball. If it's a younger team, perhaps you're just focusing on receiving it on the back foot and playing a good quality pass to their target. So we do this same thing, as I said, on both sides. But then when the players get to this point where they're at the top of the triangle or the diamond, if you will, they're on the side of the diamond, if you will, then from here, we have them dribble to the end of the other line. So they go, and I'll just use a different tool for that. It'll make it a little bit easier to see. So we have them dribble to this other side to join that other line. And then this player will do the same thing where they'll dribble and they'll join the line on the other side. And obviously by doing this, then we have the players switching sides so that they can use the right foot or the left foot, I should say, on this side and the right foot on this side. Now, going back to which foot you use, you can see as the player comes in here, then using their right foot to make that pass is going to make more sense. So occasionally you'll see that, I'll tell the players that as well. If it makes more sense to use the right foot, then use the right foot. If it makes more sense to use the left, use the left. You'll see that occasionally in these positions as well, depending on the type of pass that they receive. So if this player receives a pass that's way out of their feet on this side, it's just a poor pass, then they can use that front foot to receive the ball across their body and go that way. So don't get too stuck on which foot they're using. It's more important that they use the correct foot. So figuring out which is the correct foot to use. Again, depending on the level of your players, depends on how much of this you want to go into. But the reason I like this is it's a continuous pattern, so it's fantastic for warm-up. You can then build on this pattern to have the players, instead of just opening up and passing it there, they'll receive this pass, and instead of opening up to the next one, they'll lay it off to this player. And something I like to do is to have this player check into the ball. So we'll shorten this up. But have this player check into the ball, receive it, and then lay it back to this player who's followed their pass. And now this player backpedals to then receive the ball back again. And I won't draw that line because it'll just clutter it up. But you can see he checks in, receives the ball, lays it off, doesn't pass it back, but lays it off, and that's an important difference, to this player who's followed their pass, and then this player then knocks it back into the player after they've opened up. And you can imagine that in the game being a common action, where a player checks in for the ball, lays it back because of pressure, opens up to get the ball back, and then carries on opening up and playing the next pass to that player. You can add further complexity to this by after having this pass be made, and I'll copy this line here. After this pass is made around here, we'll have this player check to the ball, and we'll have the ball laid off again. Instead of just opening up, we want to have the player, I don't need two players there. We want the player to lay the ball off and then receive a through ball. Sometimes I'll hear coaches talk about this as a give and go. It's really more of a layoff and then a through ball, because the players are not really performing a give and go in the traditional kind of sense, because we're not, checking off of this player, receiving the ball back here and playing back and then through. So it's a little bit different. I prefer to talk about it as a layoff and a through ball. And so then this player finishes their run here to receive the ball, and I really want this pass to be in front of the player so that they have to run on to that pass, and then they complete their dribble from here going to the other line. So you can do that on both sides, obviously. You could add different combinations. These are just the ones that I like to do. I also like to have different combinations being performed, different actions at each triangle, so that the players have to then think about, okay, which triangle am I at? Which combination am I doing here? So here I'm checking in, laying off, and then opening up. Here I'm checking in, laying off, but getting a through ball to dribble around the outside. So it's just slightly different. You can use other different patterns if you like, other different combination plays, but this is a great setup that I've found. Fantastic for warm-ups, good if you've done triangle training in the past and want to mix it up, and it allows you to use both feet within the same activity without having everybody switch sides. So give that a try, see how it goes. Thanks a lot.